Okay, KCC, welcome to the Katie Labs Color Sciences and Hair Therapy Center. Have you ever had a treatment like this before?
I have not.
Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is just taking a thorough examination of your hair, dividing it into sections, and really examining the texture of your hair, the way it responds to moisture and different things, just so I can create a curtailed treatment, leave-in conditioner that is perfect for you, okay? So just relax. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. So I'm just going to start and we'll take a closer look. Your hair seems to be pretty fine, but I'm seeing a really good shine to it, which means the consistency with which you wash it, that you worked out a good system. How often do you wash your hair?
About every other day.
Okay, that's perfect. Any hair concerns that you have?
I do lose a lot of hair when I'm in the shower.
Okay. That could be due to a lot of things. It could come down to just everyday stress. Some medications can cause hair loss. Okay. I'm going to be taking a finer comb. I'm just taking a look at individual strands. Okay. taking an examination of your scalp. Okay. I'm going to rule out a treatment with heavy hyaluronic acid because you're already very moist here at the base of the scalp. Just peeling back through here and seeing. Switching to a blue light here just to better visualize. Alright. A lot of clients that I see have dryness, especially within these months, but you're very moist. Does your hair tend to get oily?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with something that's paraben-free but silicone-based to start with, and I think that's going to help with excess oiling. Okay. So this is the first strand I'm going to just be working with here. What I'm going to do is mix a base oil with okay, and you want to try just a dollop of this mousse that contains a kali polymer. Into the mixture. The way that I do that is taking a eco-friendly applicator and just putting a little dollop in. Okay, I think this is going to need a little bit more water. Okay, I'm going to put a lid on this. Okay. Along with just a slight drop of rosemary, because we like to have a nice scent to counterbalance the kind of musk that comes with this. Okay. Going to shake it again. And soaking it in with this sponge. I'm going to apply a little bit to the hairline just to test. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, and smoothly gliding it into the strand of hair that we chose. Okay. I'd like to just brush it through with a very fine comb just to make sure. Bit of effect to your hair. I'm going to go ahead and take a look here and see how the hair reacts. Okay, I'm seeing with my light here, some of the strands are just a little wet, a little more wet than I would expect. So I think that I think that we need a little bit more of the foaming copolymer mousse in this next trial. Okay? Just because your hair is unusually moist and we want to counterbalance that, we always try to select concoctions that go with your hair concerns. So that was a good test. I don't think that this is the right one for you, so we're going to go ahead and proceed with another strand, okay? I'm going to go with a more fine strand of hair, so we can start with a clean slate. We need to make sure that we have it nice and combed. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use a metal comb as well. That just gives me a better view. So I see your hair on this initial strand is becoming a little bit more relaxed, which is what we want, but with prolonged use, I don't think this would be the best selection. And we're looking for something for day wear. So I'm just going to go ahead and proceed with something a little bit more polymer induced. Okay, and this one, we're going to use a separate applicator. Okay, we'll be shaking that in. going to wipe it here. You don't have any allergies to the scalp, do you?
No.
Okay. I'm going to add just a little bit of lemon extract. And I think that's really going to help balance the moisture. Okay. Just a slight dose of our base oil, a lot less than before, but it's a good mixing agent, so we always like to have just a little bit. Okay, and this one is going to be a little bit more water forward. Okay. Going to just have a little bit more here. Okay. Okay. Going to shake it and see this has a completely different froth texture. I think it looks like it is less oil-based. Tweak the consistency. Our modifying agent. Going to close this. Okay, and so the thing about, let's call it solution B, is that it's going to have a very strong citrus forward odor. So it's personal preference, and even if it works very well for your hair, if you don't like that kind of smell or can't tolerate that aroma, then we can talk about making replacements for the lemon. But the lemon really is a traditional kind of combatant against over oily hair. So sometimes it's just trial and error here. I'm going to be applying this. Very lightly to the strand. Very lightly. Okay. And so, did you kind of catch the pungency of that aroma?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is this something that you think you can tolerate or not sure?
I think I could tolerate it.
Okay. I'm going to try a few different options. This is definitely acting more as a drying agent. Okay. I'm going to put it in a little bit stronger. Okay, I'm going to get that a little bit to settle. So actually I'm going to wait to examine that while I prepare the next testing strand. so this will be test C. I'm going to examine this now. Okay. Here we have a little bit of over dryness. So I think that the lemon forward had a bit too much lemon. And for the next one I might switch to lemongrass, which is just a little bit lighter. It still provides that acidity that acts as a drying agent but doesn't over dry the hair. Okay. It smells really good, but it's not the number one concern here. Okay. I'd like to take a look at solution A, just to see. Okay, yeah, we still have over moisturizing of this strand. This is why it's important to get it perfect. Because if you were just wearing this today, that would be completely fine. But the thing with conditioning products that are on the market today is that they only work for the first few days, and then they tend to make the hair more heavy. So we want to go away from that. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit of wax to this hair just to reset the over drying. Just a little bit. Don't want the hair to be too acidic. Okay, and now we have test C. I'm going to brush it through. Sorry. Okay, and for this solution, we're going to use a spraying technique because what I want to do is more balance the dry and the acid, and I think it would be a better way to apply to the hair instead of directly with a sponge. So I'm going to use this. Okay. I'm going to go ahead with the test polypolymer. Okay, that's ready. Okay, applying that. There we go, directly in. Using a little bit less, but I want to make sure we have a good amount. That's a good amount. So here we have about a teaspoon. Okay, now that's inside. Okay. Just a tiny bit of base oil. Just only have the most minute bit, but add it slowly to achieve consistency. Okay, next I'm going to use an anti-frizzing spray that has just kernel oil and the tiniest bit of linalool, and it's a very basic anti-frizzing agent, so we're sticking with more elemental products, no sulfates or parabens. Okay. I'm going to apply a little bit more. Okay. Just a little bit less of the essential hyaluronants. Okay, and this might sound a little bit unorthodox, but it's a strong scent, but I am going to add some sandalwood to this selection. Do you have any adverse feelings about sandalwood?
No.
Okay. Okay. Just going to let that just drip in a few drops. Okay. Go ahead and give that a smell. Do you like that?
I do.
Is that to you?
That's
Okay.
really nice.
It does have an aroma to it, but the properties in sandalwood are more of a balancing, have a grounding effect in your hair.
Yeah.
Where if it gets too frizzy, it can kind of alleviate some of that.
Wow.
Okay, you said we are going to do a spray with this one. Okay. So in this third tincture, I'm going to just hold it away and spray. Very gently and lightly. It is a stronger scent, so it's one thing to smell it once, but make sure you like it long term. I'm going to just really get it in there. Try to hold your head still. Beautiful. Okay. Kind of like what this is doing to the end of the hair. It's adding a little bounce that I didn't see before, like a little curling effect. So that's a good sign. This means that the hair is reacting well. Just get the rest of the strands to make sure that it's applied equally. Okay, using a different one for solution B. Definitely too dry here. We're going to rule that out right now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do some inspecting here. I'm not seeing the dryness that I saw before. Okay. And I really like what it's doing to your ends on this one. It has a little extra bounce to it. So what I'd like to do next is try a solution that has the same effect, but doesn't have this strong of a scent. So we're going to go a little lighter on the sandalwood and maybe even substitute bergamot. It's a little friendlier to the olfactory senses. Okay, so brushing this through. Okay. I'm going to pin these up to the top of the head. Just to give us better access. To the strands beneath. Because I've been mixing so much solution with my hands, I'm just going to put on some gloves. So we have too dry, a little too oily at the first one. Okay, I'm going to just separate that right here very nicely. Okay. Just being a little bit of a perfectionist here. Just have this flat. Okay. Just to get these out of the way. Just to do one or two more tests if we need to. Holding that there. Okay. Just want to get this out of the way. Now, let's take a look at the strands underneath to see if there might be a different texture. I'm seeing a little less moisture in the bottom layer. So that's just something to be aware of. We want a solution that balances both. And that's common to have a little bit more dryness near the bottom of the scalp. Still a lot of moisture locked in and it's cool. Okay, very nice distribution of shine. Okay, taking a look. Just stay still for me. Okay, but all in all, it's pretty similar. I'm not seeing anything starkly different. So, okay. Going to make sure we're thorough in how we brush. Okay, and so I'm going to divide this section into an even smaller strand. So right here, a little bit larger. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Comb here. And for this next section, I'm going to use a different file because we're going to apply things a little bit differently just to see if the texture responds. Having a heavier base on this next selection. I'm going to add a little bit of frankincense before the bergamot. We're going to go heavy on the essentials on this one. Okay. And setting that aside. Okay, just going to have a little bit. I know there's some at the bottom, but it needs a good froth to work, so that's why I keep spraying it. I'm going to use a little bit less actually. There we go. Perfect. Where's my bergamot? Here it is. Okay, going to add a few drops. Okay, that was 10. I think I got a little ambitious there. We'll see how it goes. Okay, setting that aside. Okay, in this scenario, we want to be careful with how we apply it to the sponge. So, up. Okay, setting that in the holder, and just a little bit to the tips. Having it soak in ever so slightly. Alright. That was heavy on the bergamot. I don't know why I'm going so forward with these essentials. Okay, so I already like the consistency. It's not sticky. If it was sticking to my gloves, I would say that it was a little bit heavy on the polymer, the binding agent. So I'm not seeing as much bounce to the end. I'm going to just go ahead and give that a look, and then we'll try one more. Okay. This has a little bit more shine to it. I'm really excited to see that. So I think we're getting a little bit closer to what we want to achieve. We just want something that you can wear every day that's not too potent. This is perfect. It just needs a little bit less potency so it doesn't come off smelling perfume like. So putting this here, taping this, definitely a possibility. Oops, sorry, just go ahead and see. And for this last one, I think what I'd like to do is just make sure this is secure. What I'd like to do is just use the solution we used in the last one and just add a little bit of hydration to make it less concentrated, because I think if we have the same thing with a little less concentration, it's really going to help. So, okay, to take this out. Using a little different of an applicator. Going to add a little bit more to that. Okay. Just to dilute the solution. Okay. One more. Okay, that's nice and strong. Taking this. Adding a little more to the top layer. Alright, and now this is full. I don't want to fill it up all the way, so we'll put a little bit back in an excess vial. Okay, that's perfect. We have, so the solution is 6.5 milliliters. I'll put this aside and use this because I still have a few things I want to add to it. Okay. Alright, that's a nice consistency. I'll put this aside real quick. Okay. All right. All right, I think that's enough. I'm going to be indulgent here and put a little bit of jasmine. It's going to smell really nice. Do you like jasmine?
I do.
Okay. I'll let a few drops go in. Okay. Going to mix that. Wow, this has a real kick to it. This is very frothy. This is the kind of texture that makes me excited. This might actually work really well with your hair. So much so that I might add it directly to the brush. Okay. Some of your hair here, okay. Very gently. We'll set that aside. We'll apply it a couple different ways. Okay. Okay, so that's very heavily jasmine forward. Okay, it's very strong, and you might be adverse to it now, but you have a lot of sense in your hair right now, so I promise you that it will definitely be digestible once you wash it out and try it on its own. Okay, let me go ahead and put this in. Okay. And I'm really liking it. Wow. Okay, let's take a look. Okay. This is the perfect consistency. I'm really happy. Really happy with what I'm seeing. I'm loving the volume. The thing that I'm most excited about is that it doesn't look perfect right now, which means in a few days it's really going to start to take effect. when you use products that are seemingly like miracle products at first, it's always a red flag, but this has the perfect elements, and I'm so excited. So, with your permission, I'd love to mix a vial for you to take home to try for a week, and then we'll have another appointment. So let me go ahead and do that for you right now. Perfect. So this has bergamot, jasmine, our base oil, and the copolymer solution. It is especially curtailed for you. I'm going to go ahead and put it in a scalp applicator for you to take home. This is free of charge. Okay. And here's the excess solution from that experiment. We're going to go ahead and add it because I think you're going to like it. Okay. Oops. Okay. Okay, KCC, so I want you to go ahead and take this home. Use it for a week, only once a day, to apply to dry hair in the middle of the day. And what we're looking for is something that's functional. So you can use it after shampoo, after conditioner. You can use it on freshly washed hair. Just make sure your hair is dry before you apply it. A very light amount, okay? And I can give you a spray bottle version of that as well. And we're going to see how that goes, along with the package that you paid for. This includes a follow-up. So I want you to come in a week. We're going to set up an appointment. If it doesn't work, and we're going to find something that's perfect for you, okay?
Okay.
All right.